Hello and welcome back. We are doing the work. We are on the next chapter. What is the difference between polarity vibration and spiral vibration? What is the difference? So I'm going to go ahead and read you a little bit right from this, and then we will discuss it. Polarity or spiral vibrations are terms used to describe a state of being. Two people can physically be in the same location, yet in completely different vibration spaces. So your vibrational space can include your mental body, your emotional body, your energetic body, your spiritual body, and your physical body. The word location used in this spiritual context does not refer to a specific geographic location. That's why it is entirely possible for two people to be standing in the exact same location geographically and have two different experiences vibrationally. So let's talk about that for a little bit. Have you ever been in an experience, maybe gone to a party, gone to an event, and you perceived that experience one way, and you were talking to somebody else who was at that same party, that same gathering, that same event, they were in that same building, that same house, that same church, wherever you were, and the way they describe it is night and day different. That's an example of two people are able to be in the same space, but based on their vibration, based on your frequency, you can have a very different experience. And that's why the inside work is so important. That's why becoming self-aware, right? And that self-awareness to know where are you energetically, what is your set point, what is your vibration, will help you to figure out, are you inside the spiral vibration or are you in the polarity vibration? So I'm going to continue reading. The polarity vibration is a space which labels are affixed to events. Experiences and behaviors come from a place of good or bad, right, wrong, good, evil. In this space, there are opinions and definitions about the situation and the experiences and what they mean. So things are defined, things are labeled. It's a place with a fixed point of view, a wholly logical vibration. Information is gathered and reported based on the physical, tangible evidence. It is a place of supreme order, with all things having a dawn and dusk, a beginning and an ending. Things unfold in a linear sequence. This is a space where comparisons live. People tend to measure against one another. Hierarchies in race, economics, education, religion, gender, titles for their own oxygen here. Some people call this space 3D or third dimension. So in the polarity place, there is a fixed point of view. Collectively, you have agreed to certain terms and definitions and what that means. It's a fixed point of view, right? So if you just think of, I'm going to say manners. I don't know why that's popping in my head. If you think of manners, some people have been raised that certain manners, certain things are inappropriate, right? Some people, the way they were raised, at the dinner table, that you when you got to the dinner table, you put the napkin on your lap, that is appropriate. You don't have the napkin sit at the table. You especially don't have a dirty napkin sitting on the table, right? You keep your napkin in your lap, and that's a fixed point of view. And from that fixed point of view, that would be the right etiquette to have at the dinner table. Other people were not raised this way, right? Other people don't know anything about proper etiquettes with the napkin, and other people leave the napkin on the table. They use the napkin and put the napkin back on the table. They allow a dirty napkin to be on the table the whole time. And for them, that's the right place. That's the right, because they were raised that that's normal. And so the person who has been taught, me, I was taught you put your napkin on your lap. So when I go out for dinner with people and they leave the napkin on the table, like I want to have a judgment, right? So I can quickly identify that my wanting to judge them as wrong, that's a clue to me, that's an information to me that my wanting to judge them, I am inside a polarity vibration. I am inside a judgment. I have decided, I have a fixed point of view of where the napkin should go. Now this is a silly example, but it really helps. Like, so this would be an area where I can identify that it's easy for me to morph into a polarity vibration. I just unconsciously jump into a polarity vibration. So I have to be mindful, I have to be self-aware if I want to have the spiral vibration when I am in these situations. And the reason we're talking about that is because our home play with this chapter, we're going to look at different areas of our life where maybe we are functioning from a polarity vibration and we would actually prefer to be inside the spiral vibration, and vice versa, right? So let's talk a little bit about the spiral vibration. I'm going to read again to you. The spiral vibration, by contrast, is a space of unlimited possibilities and multiple realities. This is a space of fluidity. There is no rigid point of view. Definitions are malleable and can change rapidly. Experiences and events can be observed without judgment or definition of their meaning. Information can flow either in a linear sequential or in a random order. Time and space are lucid. Communication and connection to others can happen in a variety of planes across multiple different pathways. It's a location where there is access to unlimited information and resources. One can be in an individual consciousness and a collective consciousness simultaneously. Ooh, that would be really fun. That would be really fun to teach people how to hold multiple streams of consciousness. We're going to get into that a little bit here. It's a space comparing both the physical and the non-physical experience. This place is often referred to the higher vibrational space, 3D. I prefer the wider vibrational space. It is all-inclusive, honoring, validating all points of view. So, the spiral vibration, or the fifth dimension, or the higher vibration. In that space, there's no judgment. In that space, definitions have not been pre-decided, or they can morph and they can change easily and effortlessly. You can be in this is a space where it's really just easy for you to observe what's happening without being triggered, without having a big reaction, any reaction actually. And we find that there's certain places that this can show up easier. Like I know often when you're when you go to church or you're in a spiritual setting, people seem to just walk through the door with more of an open heart space. People just seem to have more allowance for other people. I don't know if they're thinking like this is spiritual, we shouldn't be judging here, or if people just come to the table with more kindness, compassion. But in general, you can see that easy in a spiritual gathering, in a church-like event. You can also see that easily if you are playing with people who have this awareness and you have decided in advance to co-create with each other without judging each other. It's a conscious decision. It's a conscious choice to be aware. We have all these different flavors at this group. We have all these different personalities in this group. And let's decide before we even start to have a play date or a multidimensional experience together, or whatever gathering we're going to have together, maybe a ceremony, maybe a dinner date, but you decide as a group or among two people that you're going to allow space and freedom and acceptance, and you intentionally all agree that energy can be present here. Sometimes you can be with certain people that hold that non-judgment energy. And when you're in their field, you naturally acclimate, or their energy is contagious. Maybe their energy, when you're with them, you just find yourself so much more allowing, so much more accepting, so much like it just feels lighter. You're not like judging anyone. You're not deciding somebody did something inappropriate. You're not mad or triggered by anyone. You're just in observation. Now, here's an example of how you can use this tool in a practical way for your life. If you have an event that sometimes you have a point of view, right? You might have a strong point of view, maybe a family gathering. And if you notice that when you go to those family gatherings or you go to that event or that situation and you don't like the way you feel because you're noticing everything that irritates you about people, you're noticing who you think is a hypocrite, or you're noticing who you think is full of shit, or you're noticing like who feels incongruent to you, and then you leave there and you've just focused all on the polarity, all on the good, bad, right, wrong. If you are going to go to a place like that you know can easily trigger you, that you know can easily annoy and irritate you or create a lot of emotions, and you don't want that experience, you want to stay more level, you want to stay more neutral, you can intentionally call on the spiral consciousness, the spiral vibration before you go, and you can have the awareness. You can do the prep work, right? You can do the prep work before you go to that event or be in that situation with those people, and you can set the intention that you're going to go into your heart space, you're going to be open, you're going to widen your conscious field so you can allow all these different personalities, all these different energies, and you can intend to be neutral, to just observe it without reacting, triggering, judging it, right? Because that's where you flip right back into polarity. You flip right back into polarity once you start judging, right? Right? Which is like we've been trained and conditioned to be judgmental. That's how we got the polarity planet, right? We could not be on a polarity planet without our friend judgment. And yes, I call judgment our friend. Judgment has served us. Judgment has helped us separate from the truth of who we really are in order to have the experience of being separate from all that is or all that we are. So judgment has been a benefit. It has served us. It has helped us to have the experience of polarity. So that's great, right? I've got no charge on judgment. And I can be aware that there are times in my life where I would like to leave judgment behind. I would like to say, thank you, judgment, but I'm going to this event, and I would like to leave my polarity consciousness, my polarity vibration. I would like to check that at the door. I don't want to bring that into this event with me because I would rather this event would be easier for me, more enjoyable for me, more pleasurable for me if I could function at this event from the place of my spiral vibration, my consciousness that is all inclusive and allows everybody to be what everybody is without me having a reaction or a trigger. So this information, like, it's like huge, right? Like, because it can really be practical. And that's what, like, I'm a big believer in using multidimensionality to serve my human life, to serve my life on this planet, right? Like, I'm on this planet. So I am having interactions, I'm having experiences as a human on this planet. So I want to use my multidimensional concepts, my multidimensional understanding, my knowings to make my experience on this planet easier for me and my body. Not all the time do I want to do that. Sometimes I really like being in polarity. Sometimes I really like to analyze something and decide if this is good for me or this is not good for me. If I want to put it into the judgment category of yes, no, right, wrong. Sometimes that feels good. And that's what I want to do. but I have the awareness that I can use these multidimensional tools to assist me on a daily practical advice. So in our home play, we are going to look at that. We're going to look at areas where you just automatically, on autopilot, you jump into that polarity vibration. And then you get to ask yourself, do I want to continue this? This is happening automatically. I'm doing this easily. When I go out for dinner with new people and I see they don't put the napkin on their plate, do I want to like instantly like have a judgment of them? Maybe I do. And maybe sometimes I choose not to. So I can use this tool, this information to help me. So, and then we can also think of areas that we naturally feel good when we're using spiral consciousness, right? When we're using spiral vibration. And then we can think of like in the future, I know I've got this thing to happen, and we can pre-pave or do the prep work before we go. And then we can use this information to open our space, to widen our consciousness so we can enjoy that experience from a place of neutrality. So I'm going to continue reading. Each moment gives us the option to be aware of our current state of being, right? This is so good for self-reflection, self-awareness. We can be conscious operating from a polarity point of view or a spiral point of view. Most of us flit in and out of these vibrations intentionally. When people become conscious of the different vibrations and they believe that this is true, they stay cocooned in the spiral vibration. In this vibration, one tends to experience more freedom, more joy, more ease, and more acceptance. The polarity vibration judges the spiral vibration as either non-existent or a superior location. So if you're functioning from your polarity self, your polarity frequency, you don't believe in the spiral vibration, you don't believe in the spiral frequency, you don't believe in the consciousness that it includes everything and judges nothing, or you judge yourself that you're not functioning from a higher place. You're in all this self-judgment, like, oh, like I should be doing a higher vibe activity. I should be doing a higher vibe thought. I should have a higher, vibe thought about this person or this situation. So that's an indication you're in polarity, that you're judging yourself. From a spiral vibration, there is no judgment of where a person chooses to experience their current state of being. So our multidimensional selves, our spiral selves, our multidimensional frequency is not judging our small self that is separate, that is in polarity. There's no judgment because we have the awareness that we wanted the experience of separation. We wanted the experience of judgment, good, bad, right, wrong. So our multidimensional self, our spiral self, when we're inside that spiral vibration, we've got no judgment. We've got no judgment for our third dimensional self. Additionally, the spiral vibration knows no point of vibration is permanent. Each moment is a new moment to make a new now choice. So from like that spiral vibration, we don't think we're in a hierarchy. We don't believe in the hierarchy. We don't think, oh, we're superior to our 3D self. We're superior to our separated self. There is none of that. Nor do we think like, oh, now that I'm here, I'm always going to be here. I've achieved enlightenment. I've ascended. And now this is my new now set point. This is forever. There's none of that either. Because our multidimensional selves knows we can ebb and flow in and out of different consciousnesses, and our multidimensional self has no judgment when we flow into the polarity consciousness, into the separation consciousness. It is my personal belief that all aspects of my multidimensional self exist to support, assist me on my journey of evolution, exploration, and experience. So again, I believe the separated self, the polarity self is here to serve me. It's here to give me information. It's here to help me on my journey of evolution, as well as my knowings, my access, my abilities to connect to my multidimensional self that is also here to serve me, to assist me on my journey of evolution. And from this point of view, I've got no judgment to my separated self. I've got no judgment to my smaller self or 3D self. Everybody's got different words for these things, but they're the same. We're saying the same thing. It's okay to be separate. It's okay to be in judgment. It's okay to do right, wrong, good, bad. Sometimes judgment helps you. Like for me, it makes me instantly think of, I'm a person who is a recovering, right, people pleaser and a codependent. So it is good for me to be in a place of good, bad when I'm meeting people, because I can get tricked. I can return to patterns of codependency. So judgment can serve me. Judgment can help me with my self-protection until my frequency changes and I'm no longer a match to people or situations that can activate that manipulation of narcissist codependent, right? So there's times where judgment is great. Like it's a tool that's helping me. So there's no judgment. There's no judgment in judgment. And if I'm finding that I'm judging, like just ask myself, hey, body, do you want to be judging right now? And sometimes it'd be like, yes, because this is helping me. This is like I'm using judgment for self-protection, or I'm using judgment to serve me. Or sometimes I'd be like, no, I don't want to be annoyed at that person that they were raised that they can leave the napkin on the table. Like, I don't want to be that person that even notices it, or that even is like thinking I'm better than them because I have better etiquette. That's not who I am. That doesn't feel good in my heart to judge people. You know, I don't want to be shallow like that. I don't want to feel superior to people. That doesn't feel good for me. So I'm going to use my multidimensional self in these situations and elevate myself to a different space vibrationally, so I can be accepting, I can be fluid, I can be, non-triggered, no judgment, no point of view. It's fascinating. Like the deeper you really start to look at moment to moment and start tracking your moment to moment experiences, I think we could have like huge courses just on this alone, because we can really start to use these tools in a practical way to really benefit us, to really make our life easier, and to find, like, because if you're going to go to that family gathering, do you want to go to the family gathering being triggered and annoyed? Maybe if it's serving you and protecting you, maybe that's important, or that work party or whatever. Or if you're going to go, would you rather go and have a good time? Would you rather go and have it be a peaceful, you left and you didn't need 3 days to recover, right? Have you gone to those things and then you need like so much time to recover because you were so disconnected from who you are, right? And the more judgments you have with someone, the more like you are triggered, like you are so disconnected from the truth of who you are, and it feels really bad. It's really heavy, and it can take a really long time to recover. So these tools can be here, right? This information can be here to assist and support you. So go check out the home play, and we'll get together the next time.